I have to attend the session.
Yes, I'm on it. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, good evening.
Good evening, Director ma'am. Good evening, Principal ma'am.
Good evening.
Farooq sir, I have sent you the YouTube link on your WhatsApp.
Okay, thanks. I'll just check.
Yes, sir.
I think another 2 minutes and then we can start. Maybe
Yeah,
all are
sure.
just joining in. Yeah.
Right, ma'am.
We already have more than 130.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're so popular. Everyone wants to be there for your workshop.
Thank you so much.
I'm also looking forward to it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Is this floating video panel obstructing the PPT in any way?
No, it's looking fine.
Entire thing is visible, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, yes, it is.
All right, that's fine.
Ma'am, should we start?
Yeah, I think we should.
Yes, ma'am.
More than 150 now participants, and it's
Right,
very-
Yes, I think they'll keep joining, so we'll start.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. We all have experienced one thing recently, and that is learning together even when we are apart. Happy afternoon to one and all present here. On behalf of Trinity International School, I, Ms. Mukta Sargaonkar, welcome you all. Before we begin our session, a few instructions for everyone to follow, which will help us conducting the session smoothly. You are requested to keep your microphones on mute in this session. Your queries will be addressed towards the end of the session. Kindly use the raise hand feature. To ask queries, you will be unmuted one at a time, so please be patient. Kindly fill the attendance link, which will be shared in the chat box. It also has your participation certificate attached to it. Thank you. I'm extremely overwhelmed to get this opportunity to introduce to all of you our resource person for today's workshop. He is a man of principle and indeed an experienced principal too. He is a visionary leader and educator with 20 years experience of supervising staff, securing resources, transforming organization, culture, and implementing effective programs. He has trained more than 15,000 corporate employees and more than 50,000 teachers. He held a degree in MSc B.Ed, BHMS, principal of MSM English School, and zonal coordinator and master trainer of CBSE COE Pune. He is the first school principal in India to become a master black belt in Lean Six Sigma quality management system, certified green belt and global career counselor for UCLA Extension, University of California and Los Angeles. He gave up his illustrious career as vice president of a pharmaceutical company to bring out changes in the education sector and in the young minds to groom them into better citizens of tomorrow. Received the Young Scientist Award 2007, Association for Advancement of Homeopathic Science, Kolkata, for his research in the field homeopathic science and his hypothesis based on quantum physics. He is a master trainer of CBSE COE and prepared 2 modules for CBSE COE Pune, supervision skill for middle management and academic administration for top management. He recently prepared 2 modules for Diksha Patel on behalf of CBSE, preschool education and creativity and problem solving. Recently, he launched his company, Best Career Books, which is meant to provide career counseling, consultancy, and training services, transform schools and lives of people all around the world. He has trained principals across Maharashtra on NEP 2020 and presently conducting numerous sessions for teachers and parents of schools across India. Yes, he is none other than Dr. Swaroop Datta. I welcome you, sir, for this session on behalf of entire Trinity family. Now I request our principal, Dr. Rupali Dhambere, to say a few words.
Ma'am, you are on mute.
You're not audible, ma'am.
Sorry. Thank you so much, Mukta ma'am, and Swaroop sir, as always, a pleasure to have you on this platform. And it was being discussed, and there was a lot of debate and confusion when it was coming to student portfolios, and when we are in this phase where we have unlearned so many things and we've learned new things. That is what technology is all about. And it is high time now that we realize that it is not just a tool, but it is an integrated part of the curriculum. So the earlier we realize that, I think the better it is going to be for us, because this is the way forward. And one thing that this pandemic, I think, has taught everybody, and I would also, I have also incorporated that in my life as well, whereas sharing and collaborating is the way ahead. So I think that is going to take us to a different level and to a different platform. This is not the time when we could keep things to ourselves and move on with our own notion that we have about the things, but this is time when you actually move out, you share, and as you share you learn more, and then you gain towards the end of it. So yes, a very powerful tool we have in our hands, but it is up to us how effectively we use it, how effectively we teach our children to use it. And we are here to focus more on the student portfolios. And today, all the principals, teachers, I think, who have joined, Swarup sir, they were asking you for a lot of clarity on this. And, that is how, with your permission, we have tried to put this session together so that everyone has answers to their questions on this important topic that we have. So without further ado, on behalf of entire Trinity family, management staff and students, and also the Pune, I would welcome you, sir, on this platform. Thank you so much, sir, and over to you, Swarup sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. First of all, I would like to thank Rupali ma'am and the Trinity family for organizing this webinar, which is on the topic of how to digitalize student portfolios. In fact, I remember I was getting a lot of messages in my group, and I was on a vacation during that time. I was in Kolkata for Durga Puja. It was, in fact, a 1 month long vacation that I was on, and I was barely able to respond to all the messages. So when Rupali ma'am said that, should I take the lead and organize something? I just said yes, and blindly gave her a date as well on 21st, which I had to later change on because I had a session yesterday for CBSE. So thank you, Rupali ma'am, again for organizing this. And let me just tell you that this is going to be probably one of the most simplest session that I have ever taken, because I don't think there is much confusion there should be at all about portfolios and how to digitalize it. And in the next 40-45 minutes, I would try to tell you what CBSE has to say about the digital portfolio, which is, the PPTs that I've made is mainly from the CBSE documents, the circulars. I would try to give a clarity on those, and then I will physically demonstrate how to create a portfolio. So if any of you is on the computer, you can do it along with me. You can just try your hand out, and then when you get more time after the session is over, you can come back to this session and play around with the tool that I'm going to share with you regarding how to make a portfolio for your students. And the best news is you need not do it. It has to be done by the students. The students are to be taught how to do this. So I would recommend that if this video can be shared with the students, it will be a great help for the teachers, because they will save a huge amount of time trying to digitize the portfolio. In fact, the students are expected to do it, and you're going to get the link. But then as a mentor, you need to know how to do it. That's all about it, right? So the first slide is, of course, regarding the circular, academic circular. This is circular number 51 of 2021. This talks about special scheme of internal assessment and practical projects. Where is it? It's there in the cbse.nic.in academic website, curriculum, and then you find this document, right? And of course, you can go to the circulars to check out this circular as well. Now, what I'm doing is I'm taking out the relevant portion of that particular circular to share with you what exactly is the division of marks and all these things. So to reduce the confusion, periodic tests, multiple assessment, portfolio, and student enrichment activities. These are the 4 things that is involved in the internal assessment. How much marks is given to each of these things? Periodic test, 3 marks. Multiple or diverse assessment embedded in the classroom pedagogy, 2 marks. Portfolio, 2 marks. And student enrichment activity, that is practical work, speaking and listening activities, project, this is 3 marks. So 3 plus 2, 5, plus 2, 7, 7 plus 3, 10. So the entire internal assessment has been divided into 2 terms, term 1 and term 2. as you all are aware that CBSE has divided the entire board exam in 2 terms now. So the first term will have 10 marks of internal assessment and 40 marks of theory paper. And the same thing is going to happen for the term 2 as well. 10 marks internal and 40 marks of theory. So when you add up the entire thing, it will be 20 marks internal and 80 marks of theory. So just to understand that we are now going to deal with these 2 marks only. We're not going to talk about the periodic test, multiple assessment, student enrichment activity. These things you have been doing for quite some time, and I don't think there is any need of clarity on these things at all. The only thing is portfolio that we need to understand. We have a fair idea of what a portfolio is, but the idea about a digital portfolio seems something foreign. So we're going to talk about that. So a few points to be noted, regarding the other assessments that I talked about. Periodic test, for example, would be restricted to 3 in each subject in the year. As per the situation, the school may conduct 1 in term 1 and 2 in term 2 or vice versa. That means you can conduct, 2 in term 1 and 1 in term 2 as well. So term 2 has less amount of time. So what we are doing in this way is like we are doing 2 periodic tests in term 1 and 1 is going to happen in term 2. Regarding the multiple assessments, you're going to include things like role play, group discussion, quiz, concept maps, blogs, debate, recitation, skit, art integrated projects, sport integrated activities. So all these things will be included in the multiple assessment. And what about the student enrichment activity, SEA? It's going to be the art integrated project. And this is going to continue as per the guidelines given in the circular number 33 of 2020. It was published last year, 14th May. You can go to that circular and check what it is talking about regarding the art integrated project. So this is the gist of the internal assessment: periodic test, multiple assessment, SEA, that is student enrichment activity. And now the most important thing on today's topic, that is the portfolio. So understand this thing regarding the portfolio. Portfolio is the creation of portfolio is suggested to broaden the scope of learning and achieve diverse curriculum outcomes by examining a range of evidence of student performance being assessed. Now you see, I have made the word evidence in bold. So the whole purpose of portfolio is retaining the evidence in a structured manner. That should not be forgotten. So whatever the child is doing, last year, if you have seen, like when the board exam was being conducted, many schools, they did not even preserve the assessment copies, the PDF files that the students shared, mainly because they never imagined that the board exam, may ask for it, or the CBSE may ask for it, that, bring out the documents or the tests or assessment that you did earlier and, take these things into consideration to make the final score of the child for the board exam. No one imagined that it would have gone in that direction. So mainly after correction of the PDF files, teachers either cleared their phones off to save space, or somehow they misplaced or deleted. That was happening. So what was happening is the evidence was being lost. So once evidence is lost, understand one thing in any sector. This is a particular sentence from the corporate sector. People say that if you want to save yourself, the only way to save yourself in a work environment is documentation. Anyone coming back hard at you, you have only one thing to safeguard you, that is documentation. If you have the documentation in place, no one can harm you in any way. No one can challenge you, no one can harm you, no one can disturb you. And I'm pretty sure that most of the schools have experienced the disturbance caused by, because of the lack of clarity of giving the scores to the children. Parents challenged the scores. They wanted some, hard documents to be shown to them. The education department intervened. I know of a few schools who went ahead and even, they had to give a pink slip to the principal. That was a, very bad experience I had with, a couple of schools who shared this with me, that the principal was bid goodbye because of these things. So understand one thing, that as a principal, as a teacher, we need to keep ourselves protected, and nothing can protect us more than the documentation. So this portfolio is an evidence that you need to preserve. So do not forget the word evidence. I used it in bold. Apart from that, what is the purpose of the portfolio? Broaden the scope of learning and achieve diverse curriculum outcomes by examining a range of evidence. So one thing is, whatever is not possible through the conventional mode of teaching can be achieved through a portfolio as well. So that is the reason the portfolios are being designed. Now, what is a component of a digital portfolio or any portfolio? The learning journey, metacognition. Now, what is metacognition? Metacognition means thinking about how you think, thinking about how you learn. So that is called metacognition. Then visible thinking, assessment, now literacies and skills. So what are the things that the child is, imbibing new skill sets? Who am I as a learner? So that is sort of a branding of the child, I would say. And a global communication hub. Now, how does it become a global communication hub? The child, if he or she has a digital portfolio, it can be shared with anyone in the world. And it can be like a website, So that is the beauty of the digital portfolio, that once you know how to create it, you get your own branding done. And I would recommend strongly that, principals and teachers, they should make their own digital portfolios as well. Gone are the days when, you will be asked to send a biodata for your interview. The days are coming, especially after this COVID lockdown and the digital boom that happened because of the lockdown. The CV or the curriculum vitae is a thing of the past. Now, the progressive schools and the best of the organizations, they will ask you to share your portfolio. So that is how, this portfolio, I think every teacher should create one for themselves. And of course, it will help you in a great way to communicate with the parents. And it will serve as, a sort of a reckoner, or it's a ready reckoner for the child to look at the purpose of his or her journey in the education field. So what is a portfolio? That's the very important thing. A portfolio is a collection of chosen work by student representing a selection of performances that is collected over time and describes the learner's effort, progress, and achievement in key areas. So what is it? It's all about collection of chosen work. So who chooses the work? The student himself. The student himself or herself chooses which work that he or she has done needs to be highlighted, need to be put in front of others to demonstrate that what he or she is really, what type of student he or she is. It is a tool for assessing a variety of skills, not usually testable in a single setting of the traditional written paper and pencil tests. So beyond the pen and paper test, there are skill sets which can be assessed, and the portfolio will let you do that. Assessment would include self and peer assessment, among others. So it's not only about assessment by the teacher. A portfolio will enable self-assessment as well as assessment through the peer group of friends. Its use is recommended as a support to the new instructional approaches that emphasize students' role in construction and understanding. Now, we all talk about students should be knowledge creators, not merely knowledge absorbers. Now, when I say students should be knowledge creators, what knowledge they can create, or how to start creating the knowledge. The first thing is create a portfolio. That's where knowledge creation starts, right? So understand that portfolio does not have any limit. It is not like a restricted few pieces of classwork or homework that needs to be, documented or uploaded somewhere. It's anything and everything that the child does. Next. Portfolio is both a product and a process. How is it a product? It's a product as it holds the performance records and documents a student has produced during the learning course and represents a collection of their learning achievements. So it's a product because it's an end product, what the child creates, frames, develops, uploads documents, save pictures, videos, Word files, PPTs, PDFs, anything and everything, right? So that is the end product. But how is it a process? As a process, it enables learners to monitor their own learning systematically. Because when the child goes back to the portfolio, he or she reflects that what I have done, what have I achieved, what am I capable of achieving? So that reflection happens. Reflect on their performance and then redirect their efforts and set future goals. So what have I achieved till date and what I plan to achieve in the next few months or next few years? So as a process, the portfolio sets the process rolling when the child starts creating the portfolio. Because the moment he or she starts creating the portfolio, it's a reflection activity that is happening, that what have I done? Pulling out documents gives a sense of satisfaction. Pulling up achievements reminds the child that what I have already achieved and what I can achieve. So that is the process. So I hope it is still clear till here that how it is a product and how is it a process as well. So what purpose does a portfolio serve? That's the next question. So it offers the possibility of assessing more complex and important aspects of learning areas or subject matter that can't be assessed through traditional form of testing. In a pen paper test, it is not possible to understand that if the child can create a video, a documentary, a role play, a drama, or sort of a movie, short movie, and what is the capability of the child in doing that. So a portfolio will reveal it. A pen paper test cannot reveal it. How capable or how nicely the child can deliver a speech, that cannot be checked in a pen paper test. For that, a portfolio is required. How digitally well equipped the child is when the child is creating his portfolio, the way he has set it entire thing up shows his digital acumen. That again cannot be reflected on a pen paper test. So a lot of areas are there where the child cannot be assessed through a pen paper test, but it can be done only through a portfolio. Even when you are correcting the English paper, you are not aware that what the child has done in an Olympiad. Or let's say when correcting the science paper of examination, you're not aware that what type of project this child is capable of making. The portfolio will show you that yes, the child may not have scored very high score in the pen paper test, but definitely when it comes to making a great project, the child is a genius. So then your opinion about the child changes. So portfolio is meant to do that as well. Provides a profile of learners' abilities, in-depth growth and progress. So this is the key word, provides a profile of learners' abilities, what the learner is capable of doing. Let's not restrict the learner only to the pen paper test. And it is in-depth understanding of the child is needed. A 360-degree view of the child, not only what the child is capable of doing on a pen and paper test. Helps to develop among students an awareness of their own learning. So this self-awareness, building up of the self-awareness is the way towards building up self-confidence and being successful. So, a lot of time it has been seen that because the child's efforts were not being recognized, the child never bloomed, never blossomed. So it's very important to understand that if you want a flower to blossom, you have to give all the right components. You have to give the right soil, the right amount of water, sunlight, fertilizer, insecticide spread on it from time to time, and then the flower will blossom, right? You have to take care of it. Similarly, the child is like that. You cannot only give pen paper test, a few lectures and expect the child to blossom. For the child to blossom, you have to look at all the minute details of the child, where the child has achieved something, and who else than the child himself or herself, if taught how to showcase his or her achievement, will be able to do it in the best way possible, because he or she knows what he or she has done. And that is a reflection activity. So this is very important to understand, and this is the purpose of the portfolio. Apart from that, the focus on self-assessment and reflection helps students to identify their strengths and weakness, thereby facilitating setting up of realistic improvement goals. So the goals that are set are not utopian, some sort of realistic goal has to be there. We call it SMART goals. SMART goals, you're all aware of this term, what SMART stands for, right? So in that, R stands for realistic, M stands for measurable, A stands for attainable. So all these terms are there. So it has to be realistic. And how to develop a realistic goal? By understanding where I am today and where I want to be tomorrow. So all the entire journey is about bridging the gap. What gap? Gap where I want to be and where I am. So there is a gap between that. Every person knows that there is a gap between what I am today and what I want to be tomorrow. So if you are aware of that, then it is easy for you to bridge the gap and construct that bridge. If you really do not know if there is a gap at all or not, will you ever construct a bridge? Will you ever try to reach the other side? Because you're not even aware of that, right? So it's very important to be aware of the width of the river before you start constructing a bridge. So that is a realistic picture that can be provided by the portfolio. The active role that student plays in self-assessment not only motivates them, but also help them to develop metacognitive skills, which enable them to make adjustments, not only in their learning in school, but beyond as well. So as I said, metacognition is what? It's about thinking about what I think, thinking about what and how I learn. So when that happens, that is called metacognition. So metacognitive activity is a very important activity that every individual should practice. So a child exposed early in the life to metacognitive skill will do wonders in the life of the child, you know. So metacognition can happen while creating the portfolio. Apart from that, provides an opportunity to share own learning with peers and review and give feedback on each other's work. You know, just like we share photos on Facebook and Instagram and people give a feedback, you know, someone giving a thumbs up, someone giving a, you know, a sign like this. So, or writing a good sentence in appreciation, that can happen when people share their portfolio with each other. And I'm pretty sure once the student starts creating their portfolios, they will share it in their groups. They would love to do it. Just like we love to share our pictures on Facebook or Instagram or, you know, achievements on LinkedIn. So this portfolio is something that every individual would like to share once he or she knows how to create one. So peer assessment thus becomes a great support that further facilitates a clear understanding and evaluation of personal goals. So in the portfolio, a personal goal of the child will be there as well. And peer assessment becomes a great support to understand and evaluate their own personal goal, that the personal goal that the child has set. When others contribute their thoughts on that, a critical analysis on that, the child is going to further develop their own goals. So how to prepare a portfolio? Now, what the portfolio should include? Portfolios must include classwork and homework assignments, his or her exemplary work in the related area. The attention should be to promote techniques such as annotation, identification of keywords, themes, summarization and organization of ideas and content, photographs, presentations, that is PowerPoint presentations, assignments, art integrated learning, etc. So etc. shows that it is an unending list. It does not mean that it's only restricted to these. Whatever the child has done, is doing, that can be uploaded in a portfolio. The sample of creative work and evidences that demonstrate process skills or development of critical thinking or problem solving merit inclusion as well. So all these things that demonstrate the child's problem solving ability, you know, critical thinking ability, creativity of the child in any way, that can be a part of the portfolio. Now, how to assess the portfolio? Now, when you are talking about assessing the portfolio, there has to be certain parameters, and that has to be declared well in advance. Even before you allow the child to start the portfolio preparation process, you need to make clear what is the assessment parameter or what are the assessment parameters. Some suggested parameters, these are suggested by CBSE, but you may not restrict your own portfolio of your school to these only. You can creatively think of other parameters as well. So organization, neatness, creativity and visual appeal. So first thing that CBSE tells is you can think in what way they're organizing it. the neatness of the thing, the creativity, how visually appealing it is. The next is completion of guided work focused on specific curricular objectives. Now, whatever work is expected for the child to deliver in terms of assignments, projects, the level of completion of the work. Is the work uploaded, that is complete, neatly done, finishing is done, then it is done, or it's uploaded in a half completed way. Then anything that is an evidence of the student's growth, Olympiad, certificates, certificate of external competitions, certificates of, some sort of science exhibition, co-scholastic activities like sports activities, somewhere the child has done a summer camp, some achievement has happened over there. The child has participated in an apartment competition. Maybe the child is living in an apartment, and in that apartment only there is a competition of the children living in that apartment. You can still bring it as a part of the portfolio. It is not an achievement restricted to your school performance. It can be anywhere, a club level performance, colony level performance, taluka level performance, district, state, whatever, country, and inclusion of all relevant work. So completeness of the portfolio comes from the whatever is relevant to the child, whatever the child is doing. He has given a speech somewhere. He has formed a new YouTube channel, created one. Everything can be a part of the portfolio. So portfolio assessment is one of the several authentic and non-traditional assessment techniques in education. So you understand one thing, that if your assessment methodology is not, if the rubrics are not proper, then the whole purpose of creating the portfolio will be lost. The child can make an exceptionally, creative portfolio, but in the absence of assessment parameters and in the absence of properly being assessed, that creative zeal in the child can, get dissipated very soon if the teacher is not creative enough to understand in the child. So this is something that you need to be aware of. Now we will create one digital portfolio. We all have now learned what is a portfolio. Now, whenever I was talking about this, I'm pretty sure you must have thought about creating a folder and putting the files in that folder, keeping it in a drive and sharing the drive link. But I'm going to share with you a new way of creating a digital portfolio. And for that, I'll stop this sharing for a moment and go to somewhere else. Now, before I go to the creation of the portfolio, I hope now portfolio is clear with everyone. What exactly is a portfolio, right? If there is any doubt at all, you can either raise your hand or put it in the chat box. And if it's clear, type it in the chat box. It's crystal clear. Or C, that's enough, not to be typed too long. If it's a C, I understand it's clear. Clear, good, great. Now, the thing is, you know what a portfolio is, what it must contain, what are the assessment parameters. Now the to-do part, right? How to make it happen. So, I'm not going to give you a just chalta hua portfolio. I'm going to give you a portfolio that will look really good and you can share it across the entire world if you want. The child should prepare a portfolio like that. So let me share with you my screen now. And I'll pull up a page. And if you want to do it along with me, you can. Salma Sheikh is asking a question. Salma Sheikh, you can unmute yourself and or put the question in the chat box, either way, whatever suits you best.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
So I just want to ask about in computer application, if there is a project, not portfolio. So in that, what should I do?
No, that's a different thing. We are not going to deviate from the topic. For the project, I may have on a different day, I will make it clear. But understand that that project can be a part of the portfolio also. Whatever project you're doing for science, that project can be a part of this portfolio. So any number of projects that you do, it's not a separate entity. So whatever project you are doing, that project can be included in the portfolio and it can be a part of the portfolio, but the project has to be decided by the teacher. So for IT, if you're interested, you can ping me separately. I'll share with you the details of what type of projects can be done. But do not mix it up with the portfolio. Is it clear now, Salma ma'am? Right. So now I would recommend everyone to go to this page, sites.google.com, and see if you can open up this page or not. Once done, you can type it in the chat box. Yes, this is open. sites.google.com/new. Great. So now that you opened it, you see over here a portfolio is written, right? You click on this portfolio. Now you pay attention and you can try doing it along with me if you want, or whatever suits you, you can do it later on as well. So let me open this portfolio up. Now, because I'm sharing the screen, it will take some time to load. Just give it some time. Wait for a moment. Yeah. Pictures will be loaded on this as well. Yeah, you see, now you have got how, a structure of creating the portfolio, and you need to understand how the children are going to do it. So this is to be shared with the children. Teacher, you can make one portfolio for yourself, try it out, try your hand out on this, and then share the know-how with the children. Or you can even share this video with the children because they're very, very tech savvy and they can pick it up easily. Now you see, there are three components over here. A basic structure is given, for example, home, about, project page, and your name. And there are three tabs over here, insert, pages, and themes. So now I'm first going to go into the pages. When I go into pages, you see home, about, and project pages there. Now, for example, I don't like this project page. I want to delete it. I'll click on the three dots below that and click on delete. So my project page is gone, you see. Now I want a separate page for that. Now I'll also show you my desktop. There's a folder that I have created regarding the digital portfolio, and I've saved certain documents. It's not from one single child. It's a mix of documents so that I can show you how to upload it. But when the children will do, it will be only exclusively their work. But right now, for an example, I have picked up portfolios or documents from different students. Even some of the documents are mine. So I'll show you how to do it. So you can keep everything. For example, the child can keep all the necessary documents in a folder like this. Now, once done, then what they will do is they will go to this page. And I want to check what type of folders are there. For example, let's go into this Kshitija Tarkase. Kshitija Tarkase has given a folder which contains pages like class assignment, map activity, power sharing, PPT, screenshot. On the other hand, let's say another child, that child has given a biodata, classwork, homework, identities, introduction video, something he or she has done about number system, and type of quadrilaterals. There's a spelling mistake while saving probably. So type of quadrilaterals. So now we go to this page and I want to create pages. So you see the plus sign over here. I click on plus and now I want a tab called, let's say, SEA, student enrichment activity, right? I click OK. Now the tab has come over there. I want a tab for, let's say assessments. Get it over there. I want a tab called, let's say, gallery. I want another tab, let's say, my achievements. So I think, I'm not giving everything elaborately. I'm just showing the way, and you can add as many number of tabs that you want. So once that is done, the pages, now you see next to my achievements, there are three dots. You can click on these three dots and you can add a sub page. What is a sub page? For example, I want to differentiate in two ways. I want to show my scholastic achievement in one tab and co-scholastic achievement in another tab. So add a sub page and you say academic. My academic achievement. Let's make it in small letters. And then I want another sub page, and that is the moment I do that, you see under my achievements there's an arrow, and next to the arrow is academic and co-scholastic. If you don't want this, just give me a moment. So academic and co-scholastic, that is there over here, right? So you can go to academic or you can go to co-scholastic as well. Now what I have done is I have made this co-scholastic under academics, but I want it, let's say, in a different way. I want it under the academics. So I add a sub page and make it co-scholastic, and you do it done. Now you see here it will be there, academic and co-scholastic. Now gallery, assessment, everything is going to be like that way. Now let's go to the home and add a header, or you can even add a logo. Let's start with your name, for example. So I'll go to the home page, your name. So let's say I'll put a name of a child. And you can just type it in this way. Hi, I am Soham, class 11, student from MSM English school. So now you have typed in, the child has typed in like this. You can change the fonts like this. You can go into the fonts and change the way the fonts are. Anything you can go for Lato. And close it, or Bookman old style. Whatever is clickable, you can click and make that change happen. The size fonts also can be changed. Size of this entire thing can be 11 or 10 or whatever. So let's make it 24. Now there is a place for a logo. The child can create his own logo if he wants. For example, I can click on add logo, and I go over here, upload a logo, and then from the desktop digital portfolio, I had saved the logo for myself. I click on a logo that's of my own company, Best Careers Book, and I have saved it over here. So see, it's created over there, right? The logo is created. Add a header. You can add a header like this, and add Soham's portfolio. Size can be made smaller. Sorry, you have to select it to change the size. So let's Soham's portfolio. Now, once this is created, you need to upload a different picture now, right? So to click on the picture, you click on this. The moment you click on the picture, this entire thing will appear. You click on the 3 buttons and you can select an image. Just a moment. Replace image, upload or select image. So you click on select image. When you click a select image, it can open up the drive for you, or even you can click on upload an image, replace image and upload. It will give you the destination files. So I'm uploading a file of the child. Now you upload the file, the photo, it may be like this. Now you go to the crop option. This is crop. The moment you go to the crop option, you can reduce the size of the photo like this. Sorry. Just give me a moment. Crop. You can set it up that your way. And click on this. So once you do that, your photo is still not done. So you can again try, minimize it in some way. Photo is actually bigger than the size that was required. So I can just play around a little bit, set the photo in a way that will fit in properly, or still it doesn't look good. So I can change the photo. So I can go for replace image. Replace image, upload, and let me take a different picture. Let's say, a picture like this. Open. Yeah. So see, sometimes a picture can fit in like this, and you click on the outside, it gets saved. So this can be the picture of the child over here. And now, once this is done, you have the header ready. This looks good, right? Now you scroll down and it is written selected work. Now, name of the presentation. Now I want to upload a presentation that the child has created. So click on this. And let's put this presentation over there. Name of the presentation is Change Management. You see a PPT is uploaded. I want to add a project picture. So I click on this and click on upload. And again, this opens up in front of me. And I'll go to the digital portfolio, take something that the child has created. Okay. Let's say this is a picture that I want to upload, a project. So any picture, you can upload any picture, So this picture is saved over here. So I'll click on open. And it's uploading the name of the project. So name of the project, let's say, is Navras. I want to upload a video, some YouTube video maybe. So I want to click on this. And let's say I have my own video, my own YouTube channel, Lotus of Gratitude. So let me see if that video comes up. Yes, Lotus of Gratitude is here. I click on that and double click on that, and we get the video. Name of the video is Lotus of Gratitude. So I have uploaded 3 things now. Now, there is a tab called Insert over here. Now in Insert, you can add text box, images, embedded, and drive. So you can add a text box anywhere. So you click on text box and you type in over here anything that you want, X, Y, Z, and save it. Or I don't know, hello. Just lost the text box. Get in touch, email address. You put your email address over here. A text box is here. You can write my goal in life is to become whatever. This is one liner that the child can see whenever he goes and visits his portfolio. He can see it. You want it to be pulled up. You just click on this, you drag it up, and you can position it anywhere. So it's something that can be pulled up. You see, it goes above the email ID. You want to put it further up, you can drag it up and go next to it, and you put it like this. So it will appear right under your picture. So anything that you have added over here can be pulled up, right? Now you see this insert can insert a few things, and there can be layouts for that. So let's go to a different page and check that out, right? So I go to the about page now, and in about page, I choose a layout. For example, this one. A layout contains a picture and a text box. So to click on the picture, I again click on upload. And in about, let's say I upload something different. So let's say newspaper clipping. And you write something, a topic. This can be on my achievement tab as well. I'm just showing you the usage. You can put it in any tab, under any tab. My achievement, my photograph, or my name appeared on a newspaper, or in a newspaper rather. So you do this way. Now, once you have done this, there are other things that you can add. For example, there's something called image carousel. Now, to create an image carousel, you click on image carousel and you insert some image over here, upload image, preferably more than one. So I'm uploading this. I'm uploading another image. This one, and uploading another image, which is, let's say, this one. Now I've done that, and I click on insert. Now you see the image carousel is over here. Now what you need to do is you click on this, go to the settings, and under settings, you click this gearbox over here and auto start. The moment you do auto start, you can have medium, slow, very slow, fast. I click on fast. Ideally, it should be medium. And I click on update. Now see what will happen. The moment I do that, and I go into a preview, this is a button where you go for preview. So once you've done that, you check the preview, how it looks like. Image carousel, right? So see, this is the image carousel. Do you see the images changing? Just like you see on a website. The child can put multiple photographs of his or her achievement and make it look like this. So that is image carousel. Now let's come back to, and even you have over here how it will look like on a mobile, how it will look like on a tablet, and how it will look like on a desktop or a laptop. So these three views you get over there, and once you want to close the preview, you click on this. The preview will be closed. You can change the image over here. It's a default image that has been given, and I have already shown you how to do that. Replace image, upload, and add the image that you want to upload. Right? And then by using the crop feature, you play around with that. Yes, you cannot probably stretch this entire thing, but this is how you can do it. So select suitable images that will be fitting within this area, just like we do it for a WhatsApp profile pic. So now we have got the about page, and I can insert really anything over there. Lead with an impactful statement. So you can delete whatever is there, and you can use your own statement over there. You can put their favorite quotation over there if they want. No, you can use quotation, or a proverb, anything, and you can save it over here like this. Now you can add something like a YouTube link over here as well, which I already showed you. Your YouTube is over here, the video that you want to share. There's a setting tab to that as well. Hide controls, progress bar tool, allow full screen. So depending on what you want, you can play around with these features and check the way you want, you can put it in that way. Slides can be added. Now I go to the next page, let's say my achievements, academic achievements. In that, I want a particular way. I want this format, for example. So again, you see this format can be there, or this format can be there. All these formats are there. You can use any, whatever suits you the best. And you click on the plus, upload your achievement. Let's say Guinness World Record. Then I add to that, again, crop it. Sorry, it's just scrolling past. Give me a moment. Yeah, it's uploaded. So this one, you can just try to check if it can be pulled down and pulled up, and best thing, you put in that way. So that's it. You can add these things. There's one more feature I would like to show, Docs, for example, Google Docs. So I click on the Docs. So when I click on Docs, anything that you have done today, that will appear on the right pane. For example, I opened these documents today of Word file. So let's say SMART goals. This one I click over here, and that can be added. So you see this document is added over here. Now, what else can I show you about this? I can close this doc now, and YouTube calendar you want, if you can put, you want a doc, slides, sheets. Sheets will be the one that you want to add a Excel sheet. So today's Excel sheet, let's say quiz response I have today, I upload over here. You want to upload some other thing, let's say close the sheets. Yeah, it's done. Once you close the sheets, you want to insert, let's say, charts or forms or a calendar. Birthdays, insert. So basically what I'm doing is I am adding anything and everything that you have. What is a placeholder? I'll check that as well. Click on a placeholder, click on add, upload. So this can be actually pulled around and made the, you see this entire certificate can be fitted in like this. And then you can add a caption to it. So see the entire page you're filling up. Now I am just doing it randomly. What you are expected to do is you're expected to do it. The students are expected to do it as per a theme. So I'm not choosing a particular theme right now. I'm adding a few things. For example, now I'll add a video. Let me check. Upload. all files. In all files, I'm going to open the Kshitija Tarkase. In fact, it would be recommended that if you do it like this, you open the Kshitija Tarkase folder and keep this like this. Take out something, let's say a screenshot I will choose, or let's go into chart making. Chart making, there are two images. So I'll click both the images, copy, and go back and paste it in the main page, right? Paste. Now this will appear on the sheet itself. So when I go to this thing now and click on add upload, images are there, right? So I click on this image, one is uploaded. I click on another one, and this one is uploaded. So see the child's, you can play around with this, pull it out a little bit. It can zoom in and out. So you can set it up as by holding these blue buttons that you get, and you can adjust accordingly, right? Even if you want to check if there is a video that we can upload, the child has made. So I remember one child sent me a video as well. So Digital Portfolio and introduction video. Okay, this one. Click, copy. And you paste it over here again. Preferably don't try to keep it in a folder so that you can easily pull it out, right? Now you see when I have that, I'll go to, let's say, about me. You can even have sub pages in that, about me. And then you go to insert, and insert, you add, let's say, something different. My achievement is done. Now carousel is done. I will insert one more page. Insert something. Okay, probably we'll get it in the first page. Let me see. Home, where the add button is there, there you can add up. Yeah. Name a video. See, there is a video that is over here. You can click on this video and add a video if you want. So you click on this. So it will go to YouTube. Let me just check name of the project. There's a slide. Upload. All files. And there was a video file, yes, this one. So it will take some time to load up, but once selected, it will be there. So I hope you have clearly understood now that these are the different options. You can use these options to create the one that you want. Under SEA, you have one topic, SEA. Under the pages, for example, you go to SEA, and under SEA, you can add a sub page, like you can make it for English, done. Again, SEA, add sub page for maths, done, and other subjects. So when you go to SEA, you can choose the subject SEA that you want to see. And then you go to insert, and insert, you can use anything that you want. Normally, it's difficult to upload raw videos. At times there's a mismatch. What I would recommend is, if you want to upload a video, get it on a YouTube link and then upload it. It makes it much simpler. So now that we have done it, we'll very quickly see the, the preview. Now, this is something that I've done very quickly. It will take time to make a good portfolio. It can take a few hours or a few days to give it the creative look. I've just done it in a very rough way. I'm just showing you the features. So that is done now. So once I'm checking that, I'll close this now, and then I will go and publish. There is a setting over here as well. You can go for brand images. You can add a text next to your logo as well. So this is how you make the things happen. And after that, you can just click on publish. Now you see what will happen when I click on publish. I click on publish. It will ask you the web address. So if you have a customized web address, you can put it over there, or you can just go ahead and publish it. When you publish it, you see there's a link button that was earlier grayed out, has become highlighted. Now the child needs to click on this link button. This is the published site link, copy it and share it with the teacher. Now you see you got this link. Now I'm closing this portfolio. Anyone with this link now will click on that. The child is going to give to the teacher that just the link. So once the link you have got, you click on that and you get the portfolio of the child ready in front of your eyes. I have not filled it up the way it should be done, but just to give you an idea, images, videos, Word documents, everything I've uploaded. And this is how the teacher is going to maintain the digital portfolio. So I think, I've been able to show you how it can be done in such an easy way. The child will do it and they will love to play around with it. This portfolio that I created was nowhere near to my satisfaction, mainly because I didn't get enough time to design it, because I will have to play with the colors, the fonts. So because of the brevity of time, I did not do it. But I'm pretty sure when you tell the children to do it, they will love doing it. And all you need to do is get the link from them and just explore how beautifully your children have done the portfolio. So that's all, even the SMART goals and everything, ask them to put those things under their introduction, the SMART goals, their classwork, their homework, all these things they can upload, right? So now I come to the end of the session. If you have any question, you can ask me, or otherwise we can wrap it up. I'm pretty sure that you have, you want to try it out yourself. Give it some time today, go back, try it out and check if it's happening properly. Come back to the video if you want to see more about it. Ping me on WhatsApp if you want to know a few features more about that. So,
Sir, if you could share your number again, maybe in the chat box, they can also get to you.
yeah,
And
sure.
I think they're asking whether the students can edit it afterwards also. I think there's
Yeah.
one last
Now
question in the-
let's check that out. Right now, I'll go to again the same thing. Sites. Google.com, right? So I created the portfolio. Let's see how it appears now. Is it there or not? Yes, see the portfolio is there. Now I open it up from my account. Let's check. Oh, I'm not sharing the screen. Sorry, just give me a moment. Yeah.
Also, one more question, as in every subject has a separate one. Or
No.
can
See
they-
what I've done. I have done one portfolio for all the subjects. See,
Yeah.
assessments, for example, subject enrichment activity. I have shown it can be for English and maths. You can keep adding as many tabs you want. So I go to the pages and under subject enrichment, I add another sub page and you make it, let's say, SST. Done. So you see any number of subjects. Now assessments. In assessments, again, you go to the pages, you click on assessment and make a sub page, add a sub page. In that sub page, you put assessments of English. Done. Under assessment, again, click on add sub page. Then let's say for a second language, Hindi. Done. Now you see under assessments, these are up. You can add all the subjects, all the five subjects, right? So my achievements again, academic, now Course Scholastic. I click on this Course Scholastic. Now can we remove something? Now when we want to remove something, Course Scholastic, academics, I want to remove this. Now under academics, I can go for delete. Now you see, when I go to delete, it was under my achievements. Now it will appear in the 2 tabs. Earlier there was this Course Scholastic under academic. So I did it by mistake. So now I have made 2 prominent tabs. So assessments, even you want to add a new page. So add a page, all you have to do is click on this add page, and you want to add the project also. Art integrated project. Art integrated project. Done. So your art, oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. Wait, I want to add a page. Pages, click on that. That's not enough sub page. I want a main page about achievement. Let's call it like this. Just give me a moment. I think there is some glitch over there. New page. So, pages I would recommend. It's not getting done right now because of some technical glitch. Initially, you create the pages, all the pages that you want, and then the sub pages can be edited anytime. You can go to the sub page about and edit it if you want. You can go to this about. I want to delete this picture, for example. I want to change it. Whatever is there, all the controls are there in place. Clients, I want to delete this box, so delete it. So, why it's getting changed like this? Insert pages. Yeah, once you have uploaded the pages, I think it's creating problem adding a new page. Let me see. Yeah, I need to collapse all the sub pages, and then I think it will be possible for you to add a. No, it's still not allowing. So let's go to home, and then yes. Under home, if you want, you can create a sub page again. Easy. I just have to explore this a little bit more, I think. No, this is not happening. So I would recommend you click on the, adding all the pages in the beginning. And then if you want to edit and add sub pages, you can do it. Because for some reason, it is not allowing us to create a new page. Or probably we have reached the number of pages possible, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So that is one thing that you also need to check. I just showed you the way. You can go around, and then once you have done the correction, again, you need to publish it. And when you click on the link to share, copy link, and then you again need to share it along with your groups. So editing is done. It's possible. The only thing is adding a new page may create some problem, just like you saw right now. So I would advise create all the pages in the very beginning. Don't create a new page. You can add sub pages later on, but the main topics, don't try to keep it for later. That's all.
There is a question. May I take
Yeah,
it?
sure.
Can a teacher give comments on the students' work?
Yeah, it depends on, what there is a setting that you can, when you're sharing, whether you make the person an editor or, a viewer, that setting is there. So if you make the teacher an editor, you can do that. So
Okay,
that setting.
The next question was exactly that. Can we add collaborators just like any
Yes.
other app?
We can add to it. Now I'll show you where is the sharing option. 1 minute. Now you see there's this plus share with others. You click on this and you see there is a option that, for example, I want to share this. And now when I click with whom I want to share, I can make a published viewer or an editor. So if I can publish viewer, they will only be able to see. If I make an editor, they can even leave a comment using a text box. So it depends on me, what or whom I want to add. Is it clear? And then you click on goes to the person. So either published viewer or editor. Where to get it from again? If you remember, if you remember, I told you this plus sign. This plus sign. This plus sign, you click on that. You put the email ID of the person. You click on this box alone. A lot of email IDs will appear. If you want to type something new, xyz@gmail.com, you put it over there, and then you click on the settings. Now, this is not a valid email, so let's check with this one, whichever is a valid email. I click on this and click on the valid email ID, an email ID, Master Soham. And then immediately next to it, the editor or the publish viewer option will come. And then you can type a message. Then send it. It goes. So that's how you can make collaborator or a published viewer. So you now create, it's all creativity, a lot of tools are there. I just showed you the broad tool, and without trying to go deep into it in the sense of decorating it. The children will do it. You leave it to the children, they will do it in a much better way than we can do it. So only thing is you show it to them, they will do the needful and then share it with you. You can use a checkbox and leave your comment. Now, as I told you how to put a checkbox, if you forgot, click on the insert. When you receive the this portfolio, it will appear just the way I showed you. There are 3 things: pages, insert, and the format, the type of view. For example, again, let's go back to that and how to leave a comment. Insert, page, and themes. So all you need to do is, when you get the portfolio, it will look like this. You click on insert, and under insert, you click a text box. And that text box, you can, let's say it comes over here, you can type. You leave it like this, right? So that's you can either add a text comment, you can add a PDF, image, anything. You can create images where you have something, make it creative. You create some images with your art teacher. For example, I once created for my school, someone you want to tell buck up, you give a picture for a child running and you write buck up. Someone who has done a champion's job, you put a crown on the child's head, a picture, insert that image, excellent. And the children will love to get those, an excellent image or a very good. Someone who is a little bit slow, I put an image over there that the child is sleeping like this, a fairy sleeping, wake up. So all these things you can creatively design and put it in the portfolio. It will be so very interesting. And after the portfolio is created, the children will love to go back and see what image my teacher has put over there, what she has written. So it will be a really experience for, good experience for both of the teacher and the student. And they can also share it with the friends. Even the friends can put their comments. That's the best part of it. So this is all about a digital portfolio. Your job is so easy. Just train the children, show them the way, and they will do it better than you. I can guarantee that. And once you receive the portfolio, just explore it. That's it. And leave your good. It's very important. One thing that please leave your comments on each and every portfolio. That's very, very important. Do not ignore things, have an eye for the detail, give some time and put it. Then only the entire effort of the child will be justified. Otherwise, if the teacher does not see it, you do something wonderful, doesn't get noticed, everyone feels hurt. So that is one thing. And don't advise them to put anything expensive. No tools are needed, different, software is not needed. It's a very simple software, free of cost. Anyone can make it and use it. So that's all about portfolio and how to digitalize it. Another simpler method is, of course, there. If they don't want to go into that type of design, as I showed you, have a folder like that, put it in a Google Drive and share the Google Drive link. But I think it is much better to go into this type of portfolio, which will look professional. And I will strongly advise, first, within the next 2 days, all the teachers or principals attending, make a wonderful portfolio for yourself, which will like a job interview biodata, and share it and see how it works. Thank you. Any other?
Right, sir.
I think, sir, you will be flooded with portfolios now.
Yeah, I would like to see a few, what type of creative work the teachers are doing.
You will be flooded with portfolios now.
Absolutely, I'm ready for that.
Thank you so much, sir. I would now request our director, Shakuntala ma'am, to please say a few words. Ma'am, please unmute yourself.
Sorry. Good afternoon to everyone.
Ma'am, you are muted. Can you unmute yourself, please?
No, now I can. I couldn't do it earlier. So I was trying to do that. Okay. Is it okay now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. And a big, big thank you to Dr. Swarup Datta. And I'm sure all those who are attending today will be so grateful to you for helping them out in this situation where now such a crystal clear explanation has been given to them, not only what a portfolio is, but also how to make one. And I'm sure they're all thrilled to start doing their own portfolios to begin with, even before the children can try it. So I think it was wonderful, very, very, explained so beautifully and hands-on. That's what I love about your workshop, sir. It's not about just theory, just about talking, about explaining, but actually doing it and making the others do it so that they're hands-on. And I think that's the best way to do anything. What I learned, I really loved was the word that, who am I as a learner? What is a portfolio? Who am I as a learner? I found that very, very, impressive, because it works on the interpersonal skills. I do multiple intelligences, so that is why it immediately struck me that this is a very important skill that most of us lack. And then to start with the children, to start understanding themselves, to analyze themselves, and then to, be proud of their achievements and put forward. I think that's a wonderful way of, evaluating a child. When the child himself or herself is able to understand what they are doing and what they have achieved. Here, I would like to add, sir, one of the samples of creative work that you were saying, among the other things which they should add on. I would suggest that the teachers ask the children to select their own sample. That also will help them to be able to understand what they are doing, but not only select it, but along with it, a reflective sheet saying what they did and how they did it and why they did it. That again is exploring what they've been doing and trying to understand more about it. I'll give you an example, sir. We had one student in our school who made one portable charger for his phone, a very homemade one. And we had gone for a trip somewhere, and I saw the child holding it. I said, "What is this?" He said, "I made this because in the bus when we were going to, we were going far away. I think it was a long trip. So he said, I wanted to in case I want to charge my cell. So how would I do it? So I thought, let me improvise one." It's a very simple thing to make. You just put two battery cells together, very simple, very straightforward. And he used that, and everyone in the bus kept on asking him for it. So this is the kind of thing which we never consider, which doesn't appear anywhere on the child's performance. So I think things like this should be, what we would be looking at in the portfolio. And I'm so happy that CBSE has added this to the evaluation. It will really go a long way in the children really being understanding, and they, the holistic development we talk about. That is what it will really encompass, having this kind of a portfolio. And so thank you. Always a pleasure to have you on our board here. Thank you very much for coming today and simplifying a very intricate problem, which I think I'm sure all the principals and teachers were a little worried about. So thank you again.
Thank you, ma'am. And just what you said, I would like to just point it out that for every image, every presentation, it's important to give a caption, just like you said, that what is the background of that? I have an achievement. What is the background of that? How I felt.
Exactly.
For example, there's a classwork, corrected sample of a classwork. The child can write, this is the first time the teacher gave a positive comment on my worksheet. Or this is the first time I got full marks in this assessment. So all these things will be very much required. That reflection or sort of an addition to file that, the background of that. Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Great. Wonderful session, lot of takeaways, and yes, I'm going to start with my own digital portfolio, and that one is sure going to come to you, sir, and you need to check that and send it back to me.
Absolutely.
And yes, the link I think is there in the chat box, and once you fill in that form, the certificate will be, you will receive it on the mail ID that you have given in the link. So the attendance link also has the certificate to it. So once that is done, you would get your certificate. So kindly fill in the link, and you will receive the certificate on the mail ID that you have filled in the form. Mukta ma'am, over to you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Director ma'am. Thank you, Principal ma'am. And thank you to all the participants. With your permission, may I conclude the meeting, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Director ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Sir, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.